Welcome to A Pair of Bookends, the book club you can carry anywhere. I'm your host, Hannah MacDonald, and I'll be bookending the conversation with some of the most exciting voices from the bookish world. On today's episode, I am so excited to be joined by author and book talk phenomenon, Laurie Gilmore, to discuss the latest book in her Dream Harbour series, The Gingerbread Bakery. Laurie is a #1 Sunday Times bestseller and a USA Today bestseller. Her Dream Harbour series is set in a small town populated with cosy settings and quirky characters. The series now has 5 books in total, with rumours of a 6th arriving in 2026. More on that later. The first book in the series, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, won the TikTok Shop Book of the Year award in 2024, and the latest novel in the series, The Gingerbread Bakery, is out now and published by HarperCollins. Here to chat all about it, welcome Laurie to A Pair of Bookends.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I am so excited to chat to you about your book. Now, before we dive into your book, I'd love to start by asking what you're currently reading.
I am reading, let me get the title right, Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey. Yeah,
I haven't read any Tessa Bailey, but I've heard great things, so I know.
You must. You simply must. Yeah, no, I love a good Tessa Bailey. And this one has a hockey player, and it's a
Ooh.
little bit taboo because they're like about to become step siblings.
Oh. The plot thickens.
We're just gonna dive straight into the deep end, guys. Yeah. So they're about to become step siblings, but like they didn't grow up together or anything. It's fine. It's just a little bit taboo. It's fine. It's totally fine, but it's very good. I'm like halfway through and really enjoying myself. So
Interesting. Okay, maybe I'll have to add that to my TBR. Would that be the book that you recommend starting with Tessa Bailey, or do you think I'm best starting
oh
somewhere
my
else?
goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm throwing you in the deep end now, sorry.
I know. Now I'm like, let me think. I mean, she's got so many good ones. I really liked It Happened One Summer. That's
Yeah,
her
that's the one I've
like,
seen about the most, yeah.
yeah, I feel like that really took off for her. That's a good one. You might want to start there. That one's a good
Yeah.
grumpy. I love a grumpy hero. So if you like a grumpy hero, he's super grumpy, but in the
Super
best
grumpy.
way.
I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, I'll start
So
there.
maybe start there. Don't start with step siblings. That might be
Yeah.
like a little.
Might throw me off a little bit.
You might be like, what did Laurie Gilmore recommend to me? So maybe it's like baby steps.
Oh my God, I love this. I want to obviously get into your book, but I want to ask you a little bit about the series so far to
Okay.
start with. Obviously, it's become such a well-loved series. It's become hugely popular. It's been a book talk sensation, and I've had so much fun over the last couple of days, like looking through what everyone says about your book. You know, it's clearly so well loved. But it was your debut novel, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and it's insane that it's such an accomplishment to have that much popularity with a debut novel. So how did that feel for you?
Yeah, it's been crazy. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So I'm two people. So it's Laurie Gilmore's debut novel, but
Okay.
Melissa McTernan was already doing some writing. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's poor from me.
yeah, no, it's
Hannah's not
totally
done her full research here. That's
uh,
shocking. Sorry.
secret identities left and right over
Yeah,
here.
I've thrown myself.
Um, but I mean, it is my first one to
Your Laurie
take
Gilmore
off
debut.
like
Yeah.
that. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
that was crazy and wildly unexpected. So yes, in that way, yes, it is the first one to do that.
So how
Um,
is that doing, playing these two separate roles? I mean, it's not playing, but do you know what I mean? It's you're splitting yourself, really. How is
yeah,
that? Like, how does that work?
it's my two personalities. Yeah. So, I mean, under Melissa McTernan and I write a little bit more like paranormal.
Oh my
We've got
God.
werewolf, that kind of vibe. And then Lori is small town cozy.
Yes.
So it's fun. It's fun being two people. Yeah, I get to just kind of mix it up and do different things.
I
But
love
yes,
that. I'm
yeah,
gonna have to sneak over to your other personality and
go check it out.
go check out that side.
Go check out that side. It's a little wolfier, but
Oh,
still
I'm
romance.
down. I'm ready.
Still romance.
I'm heading over there. But why do you think, obviously, this series is so popular? Why do you think it's resonated with so many readers?
I mean, I think about this a lot, obviously, like when this
Yeah.
happened. I think it's a few things. I think one, the world is on fire a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Things are intense and stressful.
Hmm.
And like literally the other day, I opened my email and there's like breaking news about nuclear wasps or
Oh
something.
my
And I'm
God,
just,
yeah, I've seen this. No.
what
I'm
is
sick of it.
happening? What is happening? That's just in my inbox. Like, no. So, to that end, I think we need a break.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think these kind of cozy books, these comforting books, yeah, people just want a break. They want an escape.
Yeah.
They want just to feel a little hope for humanity.
Absolutely.
So I think that's kind of why we are seeing a lot of cozy books kind of take off, like cozy mysteries and those all those cozy like Japanese ones with like the convenience stores and the cats on the
Yeah.
front, I think that's all a similar reason. And even why romantasy is taken off too, because
Yeah.
again, we're escaping, like we're leaving this
Yeah.
this whole world behind. So I think that's definitely part of it. I think romance in general is just going bonkers everywhere, which is amazing and great. And
I mean,
fall,
I understand the hype with romantasy, and
yeah.
but I think with romantasy, you still have the sort of, not in all of them, but in some fantasy books, you still have the kind of political hierarchies going on, and you still have, like, scary, horrible things happening. There's violence in some of them, there's death in some of them, and I think with series like this, it's sort of escaping any badness in the world. Obviously, your characters can be messy, but they're not problematic. They're not nasty people. They're just a bit, they get stuff wrong,
Yeah.
and it's you still have the sort of human qualities in there, but without any kind of nastiness. There's no evil, and I think that's just
No.
such a nice thing to escape into and be like, God, that was so nice to be
Yes.
immersed in this world.
Just soft. We just need a soft, like a soft, nice place.
We need a break.
Yeah. I mean, people are craving it. I think they're craving it. So I think that's a huge part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was absolutely craving a break, and this did the
Mhm.
job. I loved it so much. Would you like to kick us off by telling the listeners a bit about the Gingerbread Bakery?
Sure. So yeah, Gingerbread Bakery. It's book five.
Hmm.
So the characters are Annie and Mac, who have been kind of in every book up until this point, floating around in the background, just teasing everyone. I'm sorry, I was super mean and saved them to book five. But yeah, we finally get to see why they hate each other so much. So we get their history, we get their backstory. Yes, it all takes place during Jeannie and Logan, who were
Hmm.
our Spice main characters. It's their wedding. So the book takes place over their wedding weekend. The whole town is involved. Everybody's there. Yeah. That's the
Great.
basic gist of the.
I absolutely loved that you sort of shaped the story around a wedding. I just think weddings are so much fun to read about, but what drew you to yeah, setting it around a wedding?
A couple things. I get a lot of requests for more Jeannie and Logan. People are like, "Are you writing another Jeannie and Logan book?" And I'm like, "No," but you'll still see them. So this was definitely like, I'm like, let's bring them back. Let's
Yeah,
show where they're at.
they feature a lot.
They feature a lot. You get to see the whole wedding. So that was very fun. So that was part of it. And then I wanted, because Annie and Mac have been in the background for so long, we've been dragging it out for so long, they have a history. I wanted like the bulk of the story to actually happen in like a very short period of time. So most of it happens in a weekend. Because
Hmm.
at this point, I'm like, these two have been slow burning for so long that now we're fast. We're fast burning now in
Yeah.
this one. So yeah, so I thought it'd be fun to have it at, something that is a contained, rather short period of time. And they're all friends, so they're all part of it. They're all in the wedding party. They have to be at all these pre-wedding events. I love forced proximity, so this was just like a great way to force them to be together
Hmm.
for our weekend and face all their stuff.
And face their stuff they do.
That's right.
Well, can we just rewind back slightly? Because you just said that this
Yeah.
is quite fast burn.
Yeah.
What do you mean? This felt I mean, I listen, I'm not like a massive romance reader.
Yeah.
I dip into it and have dipped into it for the podcast and I dip into other bits outside the podcast here and there, but I'm not a big
Yeah.
romance reader. So I don't know if it's because I'm not completely aware of that genre and all the tropes that
Yeah.
maybe for me, I was like, this felt like a slow burn. Like I was so sick of them I was like, come on, get it together, guys. Can we Laurie, what are you doing to me?
Do it. Do it. Okay. Let me rephrase. Roll that back. Okay. Not a fast burn in that they are doing it on page like 12 because
Yeah,
they are not.
they are not.
They are definitely not. So, disclaimer, no, you will be mad at them. It
Yeah,
will take a long time for them to finally get to that point.
yeah.
So not fast in that way, fast in like a timeline way. So like it's not
With you.
within the story, it's not months long, but it will
Got you.
feel months long while you're reading it and you're like, "Dear God, just do it already."
You
So
kept
sorry.
us waiting.
Sorry everyone. It's still a slow burn in that way.
I love that so much. And on the wedding, I just thought you did such a beautiful job of making the wedding so visual. There was we could see, the lights strung up in the barn, the Christmas tree. It was just so gorgeous, and I feel like I can't say too much because I don't want to give anything away. But people doing speeches, so many people doing speeches. It was just a
Yeah.
really beautiful, like visual scene that I could just really imagine translating to screen. So I just
Oh.
wanted to say that I absolutely loved that.
Well, I'm so glad. There were lots of Pinterest boards involved, and my editor, like initial notes, she was like, you need more details in the wedding. Like people want to be able to visualize. So I'm
Yeah.
really glad that I pulled that off. Like, few. Yeah. Yeah. Pinterest thinks I'm planning a winter wedding
I
now.
love
Like, I'm
that.
just like, it's just in my,
I want a winter wedding now after reading that. Like, I'm
right?
ready. It
It's
sounded
very
so good.
appealing.
Yeah, it
It was
sounded
very fun.
beautiful. Let's get into Annie and Mac because Annie is, of course, this classic kind of overachiever. She's very much a people pleaser, cares maybe more about other people than she does herself. And
Yeah.
Mac was the sports sort of jock at school, college, I don't know what you would call it in the US.
Mhm.
Very attractive. Took him a while to kind of figure his life out. What was the sort of inspiration behind these characters?
Okay, well, I consumed a lot of like teen movies as a
Love that.
teen. So, the class, like the good ones, like I'll just show my age, but like the good ones from like the 80s and 90s. Okay, that's where the best ones are. So track them down. Um, yeah, so I was channeling all of that like teen romance energy for their flashback moments. Yeah, and Mac, I actually I think so I end up putting myself into like all the characters. I always put myself in the characters. And in this one, I think I ended up putting myself into Mac more than Annie
Interesting.
in that like he was like set to leave his home, like he wanted out of that small town. He didn't want to, like he felt like he didn't know where he was headed or what he wanted to do with his life. It's like a little bit lost in those teen years, which
Yeah.
I feel was a little bit me. Like I knew I wanted out of my small town, but I did not know like where I was headed or what I was doing. I went to college. Mac went a different route, but whatever. But yeah, so he's a little lost soul a little bit in those early
Yeah, and
early
I get that.
years.
I think a lot of us go through that, where
Yeah.
we kind of get to that age and you want to sort of break out of the family home and you want to break away from like, the area that you live in and all the people that you know and you've seen the same people all the time and you feel like you're
Yeah.
doing the same things and you're like, no, I want to break out of this. So I
Yeah.
completely get that. And
Yeah.
I went off to uni so that I could be in a different city and so I could be around new people and that was like the best experience for me. And I
Yeah.
think if you didn't want to go off and do that, traveling around is probably the next best option for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I love that he went off and did that. I really resonated with Annie, and I have a quote here. I felt was like a targeted attack, and it is. I think it's Mac saying to Annie, and he does this whole spiel, but I won't spoil too much for everybody. But there's just this little bit, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler. But he's talking about how Annie is, and you want things to be perfect because you think being perfect shows people that you love them, and a little piece of you believes they would love you less if you weren't.
No, Annie, no.
Laurie, what are you doing to me? I read that and I was like, oh my God, no, that is literally me.
No, I know. It's hard. Those
It's
people
hard out
pleasing of the
here.
world. Yeah.
Try.
I'm just doing my best. Yeah, that's Annie. She's holding that town together and it's a lot of pressure.
I can't remember how many siblings she had. Was it two sisters or was it more than that?
That's so many.
So
Yeah,
many.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
like one of six, I think.
Oh my God. Okay.
Kept
Okay.
adding
I can
some.
remember Charlotte and there was another. I think I'm one of like four girls, so I just like leap on
Wow.
sisters in books.
Yes. No,
So
yeah, she's got a bunch of sisters, but
yeah,
only it like wasn't gonna weigh us all down with all her siblings, so only like
fair.
two appear in the actual
Got you.
story.
But
Yeah,
is
yeah.
she the oldest?
She's somewhere in the middle.
In the
She's
middle.
yeah.
I thought she was giving older sister energy. So
She
that's
does.
interesting. Yeah, she
She does.
does. She does. And I was like, yeah, that character really resonated with me. Wanting to please everybody and feeling like you're a failure if you don't.
Yep, that oldest girl in the family vibe, but
Yeah,
she's smushed in the middle, but she's taken on that role nonetheless.
she
Yeah.
has. Yeah. And she owns the Gingerbread Bakery, of course. In your world, are
Yeah.
you baking like Annie or are you taste testing and burning things like Mac?
I like to bake. I like to bake,
What are
but
you baking?
I mostly like to bake so I can eat. So it's, you
That
know,
is valid.
yeah, that's the primary motivation.
Yeah.
I bake pretty good chocolate chip cookies. I make a good banana bread. Yeah, pie. I finally learned how to make. I can make from scratch pie crust, you guys. This was like my biggest accomplishment.
This is
So,
the saddest thing about the UK is that sometimes I see foods that are mainly, they're American foods and we don't have
yeah,
much access to them. And pie is one of those things that I'm like really devastated about.
eat pie. You're not into pie over there? You
No,
guys
we,
don't
we
eat?
don't we don't really have it. I mean, we have like apple pie, but that's about it really. We don't have like the selection that you guys have. But there's
Oh,
one place in Manchester that's called Idle Hands, and I don't know if like one of the owners is American, but they always have like a selection of like dessert pies. So if you
yeah.
want one, you have to go there. But that's the only place I know of that I've seen in the
Oh,
UK that does them.
that is so funny. I just made a blueberry pie and it came out really good.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Can I come
Yeah.
over?
Like vanilla ice cream. So good.
Stop. That sounds so good. Oh my
It's
God.
so good.
Okay. Yeah. I need to
Um,
go and make a trip to that
you
bakery
got
in
to go to
town
this
now.
pie place, I guess, and get yourself some
I'm
pie.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Now the spot that is sort of Annie and Mac's spot is the diner in the town, and there's a lot that happens around this diner. Were you thinking about any sort of diners in particular? Were you thinking about like any sort of film scenes where diners have been used, or did you have a particular place in mind that you've been to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I spent a good amount of high school time in diners. They're cheap, they're
Yeah.
good, and they're open all the time. So,
And this is
yeah,
another thing that we don't have in the UK is that we don't have
diners.
places that are
Yeah.
open all the time.
Yeah, yeah, good like late night diner. Yeah, feels very quintessential
Mm.
American, I guess. I didn't even know that was what was happening there. But yeah, 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 like French fries at a diner.
Yeah,
Yum.
there's a fair bit in this book that made me depressed that I wasn't
Uh,
American. There's a
no.
lot that we are missing out on. Why do we not have a 24-hour diner? I don't understand. Like,
I don't know.
I've worked in
And then you
hospitality where
get
we
pie.
finish so late, and I could go and, yeah, I could go and
Yeah,
have like pie and, a
pie at the
beverage.
diner.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on,
This needs to
guys.
happen. Somebody make this happen, please. Let's get into the tropes in the
Okay.
story. Now, as I said, I'm not a huge romance reader, so you're gonna have to sort of spell them out to me maybe, but the one
Okay.
that is the obvious one in the book for me is obviously enemies to lovers, and it's enemies to lovers to enemies to lovers, the cycle
Yeah. Yeah.
continues.
Yes.
But why
Round
do you
round.
think that trope is such a satisfying trope to read?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just so fun. I feel like you always need tension. There always has to be some, reason that they're not together from page one. Otherwise, we'll be like, we don't have a story, obviously. And if they start out fighting, I mean, that's just so fun to write. You get that fun, bantery arguments that they're having. You get to drag readers along for longer because they're mad. They're fighting the whole time.
Yeah,
And you get to see that evolution, that moment of like, oh, we've gone from hating each other to not so much hating each other. And I mean, it's fighting is hot. I mean, it's just like the other side of it's intense feeling either
yeah.
way. Hate, love, sexy feelings, it's all in there.
It's
It's
all,
all
yeah, it's all in
all
there.
those intense,
And
intense feelings.
I love that. And for the listeners that are like, Hannah, shut up, you know nothing, what are the other tropes that you would say are in this book that they should know about? So you said
Yeah.
forced proximity before, didn't you? Which is definitely in there.
Yes,
What
yes.
else? The big romance tropes.
Since we have those flashback moments of them as teenagers, it's almost a little bit friends to lovers to enemies
Yeah.
to friends. Like, they're
Yeah.
kind of almost, we kind of get both of those a little
Yeah.
bit. I don't know that it's necessarily a trope, but we do have the flashbacks, which I feel like is kind of a thing,
Yeah.
which does make it sort of second chance romance a
Yeah.
little
I would say that. Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Have that history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he falls first, probably mostly. I think, Mac definitely is more leading the charge with wanting to flip from enemies to lovers
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the today
She really
scene.
has her walls up
She
throughout.
holds out
She
for
does
very
not
long.
want to, yeah.
No,
To the
no.
point where you're like, please.
Annie, for the love of God. Yeah.
Honestly, do you get frustrated while you're writing when you're thinking about what these characters might be doing? Or are
I
you
mean,
like purposely trying to tease us?
I'm trying to torture you all. It is hard sometimes. I do have to sometimes be like, okay, you're only, a third of the way through the book. You cannot let them, like, you can't let them give in yet, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. So yeah, I do have to force myself to make sure they don't end up together too soon.
Mm,
Otherwise, what will we do for the whole back end of the book? Nothing. So yeah, I do have to hold off.
but we
I
were
know. I
kept
mean, I
waiting.
read a ton of romance and I do the same thing when I'm reading and I'm yelling at the characters. I'm like, you dummy, like, come on. But just makes it all the more satisfying when they finally
Yeah,
do.
it does. It does, to be fair. It's very satisfying, I would say. Um, I actually, on the subject of satisfying, there is, of course, as I said before, it's quite a slow burn. We're left waiting, we're left wanting, we're yelling at them to sort it out and just do the thing that we want them to do. There is a line in this book that when I read it, I screamed.
Tell me.
When he said, can I say he said, when somebody said, you want me on my knees? Ah! Oh my God! And it's the way, I'm not giving anything away because it's the way in which this is said, it's the build up to it, it's all of it. Oh my God. I was like ready to throw the book across the room. Crazy.
That's the perfect reaction. That's exactly the intent. I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
So good. How do you find writing sex scenes? Do you enjoy them? Are they quite scary? Because I know for every writer it's very different. So what's it like for you?
It used to be scarier. Like it used to be, I would get all kind of embarrassed for myself. Like, oh my gosh, I
I'm
can't
shy.
believe it. Now, yeah, I'm totally by myself right now, but I'm feeling shy. But, I've written a lot of them now. So it's just, yeah, it's like any other writing day. But yeah, I just try to think about the characters and how they would be in that situation and how they would act with each other. But there's definitely some times where it comes to me like fully formed. So like
Yeah.
that scene you're talking about with on the knees,
Hmm.
like I'm not a big planner of the plot in advance. Like I kind of just start writing. But some scenes come to me like fully like ready to go. And that one I had written that exact like note down like before I even started writing the book that like that scene was happening.
Love
So
that.
like we were headed there. Like I was like, this is where we're going. So yeah, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, they're definitely this is gonna happen. But then like in Cinnamon Bun, which is book two with Noah and Hazel, those two were like hornier than I was expecting. So they definitely started doing things like earlier. I was like, guys, I didn't know this was gonna happen. So you just never know.
It's took you by surprise. They're like, no, we're good to go.
Yeah, they were like, no, we're doing this. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that to happen so soon. So that one, if you want less waiting, go with that one because those two dive in. So yeah.
Would you say that one is the spiciest book in the series?
I think as far as like most sex scenes, yes, probably. I know they start earlier because they're friends and they're doing like a summer of fun and then
Hmm.
they're like, well, this is fun. So we should probably do this. And they're like, telling themselves the whole time that it's just for fun. But obviously we know better. But yes, the sex in that one does start quite a bit sooner and there's probably more of it because of that, because it starts sooner. So
Valid. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the sex scenes in this book were great. I'm going to be honest. The on the knees, the leg over the shoulder, there was a lot going on. And I was here for it,
There's
Laurie.
some gymnastics happening. Yeah.
Honestly, I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Sometimes I'm like, could this really happen? And then I'm like, does it matter? No,
No,
it's happening.
no. I just feel sorry for like any boyfriends of
Oh, I
girls
know.
reading this. So they're like, yeah, so we're gonna try this now.
So this is happening. Poor guys like,
And they're
what?
like, what do you mean? We've never
Where is
done
it?
something. Get stretching.
Prepare. Happening.
Okay, so I want to squeeze in the last couple of questions before I finish by asking you for a recommendation. I would love to ask you about the dual timeline because I
Mm.
really enjoyed flitting back and forth between them at, I think they're around 18, 19, and they're, having this kind of short-lived fling and then them almost a decade later. What did you enjoy about exploring a dual timeline for these characters?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I love a dual timeline when I'm
Mm,
reading.
me too.
I love that in books, so I was excited to do it. And yeah, since I had been, teasing the two of them for so long, and that, honestly, even I didn't know why they were mad at each other at first. I don't know. In that first book, I was like, I don't know, these two hate each other. I'll figure it out later. So I was excited to figure it out. And yeah, I figured the only reason for people to hate each other that much
Hmm.
was probably a broken heart somewhere in the mix. So yeah, so it was fun to show them back when they didn't hate each other and then that moment where it all kind of falls apart and then showing them hate each other. So yeah, it was fun to do both and kind of put them side by side. I kind of tried to make the past timeline, we're ramping up to falling in love and then we're
Hmm.
kind of like falling apart on the other end of it and seeing yeah, how they feel about each other now and why Annie is holding out so hard and not
Hmm.
giving in. She has her reasons.
She does. She does. Yeah, absolutely. There is quite early in the book, and I'm pretty sure this is from when she was younger. You wrote, Annie strongly believed that everyone should have a passion in life. It could be anything. Bird watching, writing fanfic for your favourite small town TV series, where you make every character a werewolf, photographing the squirrels that live in your backyard, whatever gets her out of bed every day. It just so happened that her passion for baking translated into a career, which was a mixed blessing. Now, I love that just as a whole idea anyway, but I wanted to ask you that, of course, it's clear that writing is a passion of yours, but what are your passions outside of writing?
good question. I don't take pictures of squirrels in my backyard.
I am not judging if you did.
I mean, that's just not one. Um, well, I read. I read a lot.
Of
Reading
course,
is like
yeah.
number one. I mean, yeah, I do a lot of cooking and I bake some. I have kids, so just doing kids stuff,
Yeah.
being outside. Yeah, we like to be outside as much as possible, hiking and that sort of thing. We have pets. Like it's just a lot. We just have a lot of souls in this house. So
I love that.
feeding everyone and making sure everyone's alive are my passions. Um,
I think that's it's there's a really beautiful thing though about becoming a parent and I haven't yet, but I know for a lot of my friends that have become parents, they've said that it feels almost like you forget what it's like to be a child and to be seeing the world for the first time and to be exploring things and to get to experience that for a second time through your child's eyes is such a special thing. So
yeah,
I always think
it
that's a
is.
really lovely thing to hear about parents. Yeah.
It is. And my kids are finally old enough now where, they can do great things like use the bathroom by themselves and get themselves a snack. So that's awesome. And now
Yep.
they're like turning into like cool, like funny people that
Love that.
actually are like fun to talk to. So I'm like, this is pretty great. So we're
Love
enjoying
that.
that. Yeah.
And also, when they can go to the toilet themselves and get themselves a
Oh
snack,
my
it means
God.
you get to read a
Woo.
few more pages.
Game changer. Yes. I'm like, I'm finishing my chapter. Go get yourself a snack. And it's great.
I love that. I want to ask you before I have to get some news out of you,
Okay.
but I want to quickly ask you. I always steal this question from my friend Emma because I think it's such a good question that she asks authors. But it's asking what the cultural kind of family tree would be. Now, she normally asks it for the book, but I think it'd be cool for this series. What would you say the kind of cultural family tree? So, like, any films, books, TV series, anything that's kind of directly inspired you to write this. I
Oh,
did also, I just want to say as well, and I don't know if this is actually a thing, but Mac's chain, it's not anything to do with Connell's chain, is it?
no.
What? Oh my
No,
God, I was like, this is a direct inspiration. Because we
no.
all went feral for Connell's chain in Normal People. I thought I was
Not,
convinced.
no, I don't know why. I felt like I saw Mac and I was like, well, he has a chain. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
why.
then I couldn't unsee if it was to be adapted. I couldn't unsee Paul Mescal as Mac once
I mean,
you.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
that
take
is
that.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. We could do that. Yeah.
Seems to
If anyone
happen.
has any connections, yeah, just let us know. That give them a call. Um, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to think now. I mean, well, I was talking about before, like my love of teen movies.
Were there any specific teen
I know.
movies?
I'm like, what are my faves? I mean, 10 Things I Hate About You with
Great. Yeah.
I mean, like my favorite forever. I mean, some of my 80s favorites are now problematic. So I'm
Of their
like,
time. Yeah, they're of their time, so
they're
fine.
of a time. They're of
Yeah.
a time.
Yeah.
But anything with Molly Ringwald in it is good. Yeah, I don't, oh gosh, yeah. What else? I mean, anything with John Cusack. I don't know. Like I'm going way, way back, you guys. I'm going to the way back, but just I just love them all. Like they were like implanted in my brain as like a 13-year-old just laying on my living room carpet,
hmm
watching like real TV with commercials and like it would come on and you would catch it halfway through. Anyway, I'm very old. I'm old. Anyway, so that's that. We don't need to get
No.
all into that any further, but yeah, and then just like, a steady stream of like Hallmark movies are always
Mm,
on my brain, all holiday season. So just channeling all the holiday goodness.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I read, okay, this is like not holiday, but have you read any Carly Fortune
I've
books?
not. No, honestly, needs to
Okay,
sort it
well
out.
they're definitely more summer.
Okay.
But she does like I've read two, and they both kind of have this dual timeline, kind of where there was like a teen romance, and then, we're seeing them like as adults. And that I really love. I think she did that really well. So, like some of that in there. Yeah. I don't
Love
know.
that.
Did I answer? I don't know if I answered your
You did. I just threw you in the deep
I
end
don't know.
when I specifically tried to prepare you to have, book recs. So sorry
Oh,
about that,
oh,
but you did
no,
well.
that's
You did
fine.
well.
So, okay.
Now,
Yeah.
I do want to ask about book six news. So what are you able, if anything, to tell listeners?
Well, it's happening. So there is a book six. It's coming next May. It's called The Daisy Chain Flower Shop.
Hmm?
The cover's already been announced and shown. It's so cute. I think it might be my favorite, but I say that like every new one that is my new favorite. But this one's so pretty and it has flowers and it has a little golden retriever puppy on it. It's really cute. And yeah, I'm writing it as we speak. You will meet the characters. Daisy and Elliot do appear
Mhm.
in Gingerbread. So for
They
anyone
do.
like who are these people, like don't worry, you're gonna meet them. Yeah, Daisy is cursed, possibly. She might be cursed. So she's losing business at the flower shop, and Elliot is an architect and he's in town working on the inn, and they decide to fake date to solve their problems, which always works.
Hmm.
So obviously the fake dating is going to work out great. And that's the basic gist of
I
Daisy.
love that. Are we seeing them? You can't even tell me. I was going to say, are we seeing them from the wedding onwards? Because I was really curious. I was like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in whatever first conversation that is, but I suppose I'll have to wait and see.
Yes, you'll wait, you'll see, you'll see. Yeah, they're fun so far. I'm enjoying them. They're quite quirky. They're a little
Mm,
weird, too, a little weirdos, but in a good way. I
we
hope
love little
I'm
widows.
enjoying them. Yeah, little weirdos.
Exciting. I can't wait. And is it available to pre-order now?
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, so links to that will be in the show notes. So links to pre-ordering the Daisy Chain Flower Shop. Yes, so
Yes.
links to that and links to ordering yourselves a copy of every wonderful book in the series. Before I let you go, I do want to finish by asking for a recommendation. What would you like to recommend the listeners today?
Okay, well, I'm a little like behind. So it's
Fine.
possible the listeners have already, they're like, we're over it. But
It's okay.
I'm finally reading Elsie Silver's Chestnut Hill series.
Yes.
It's cowboys. So it's cowboys. I'm 3 books in and loving it. So if you want cowboys in your life, then I would recommend. It's very good. But I think maybe the whole world already knew that. But I am now realizing it's very good.
I
So.
I haven't read that, so I will have
Okay,
to.
well, cowboys, they're very steamy. They're very steamy cowboys. Yeah, it's a good time.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. I've loved chatting to you, and I loved getting to escape into the Gingerbread Bakery. I loved it so much. So thank you for writing it, and I can't wait to read your next one.
Oh, thanks for reading it and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And where can the listeners find you online?
Oh, I'm at Laurie Gilmore on all the things.
On all the things. And we can link
I've
those in the show notes.
yeah.
Great.
I'm like, I
And
don't even know. Yeah.
that's fine. There's a link in the show notes. Go give Laurie a follow if you don't already. Go grab yourselves a copy of the Gingerbread Bakery and any of the other books if you've not read them yet. And if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want to give us a follow, you can do so at A Pair of Bookends Pod on Instagram and at A Pair of Bookends on Twitter/X and TikTok. And that is all we've got time for. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you once again for joining me, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.